remember to record it. Which reminds me.
Yes, Danny, I am recording.
Good.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back.
We're back live.
Another episode of the Up North Journal podcast. We're a few minutes late because I'm still dragging a little bit from vacation. Yeah, I know.
He's dragging.
Everybody says, shut up. I don't want to hear about it.
Right.
So
You're dragging. All right.
we'll get on here and do some sharing real quick, get this out of the way, and get on with tonight's show. We got some good stuff to talk about.
Since you brought the bad weather with you.
No. I came back to bad weather because where I was at, I didn't see a drop of rain. I didn't see one cloud the whole time I was down there.
You sure brought it back with you.
As soon as I came across the Michigan border, I knew I was home because I could feel the bumps in the road, and the weather was horrible.
Right.
I tell you what, Michigan needs to get its act together as far as this weather goes, because I tell you what, it is not good at all. So let me get on here and see who's on tonight. Do a quick share.
All right, I gotta do it this way.
And see what's going on. Appreciate everybody chiming in. Pictures I was posting online on vacay. Tried to share a little bit of that. Had some cool experiences that were actually kind of outdoor related. And as soon as the page updates here, we'll get going.
I can't get it there. I can't get it to update.
Yeah. It's getting there. I just think the internet's slow.
I'd go with that.
Yeah, it hasn't updated yet. Let's see here. See if that updates. See who we got online with us tonight. We gotta switch some stuff around here real quick.
It hasn't even popped up that we're live.
Oh. There we go. In order to go live, one must go live to go live. You gotta hit the go live button. We're sitting here for probably a minute and a half trying to do some sharing, and it's like Danny's like, it's not popping up. What's going on?
Right?
Ay. Welcome back to another episode of Up North Journal. As I was saying to nobody just a second ago.
You were saying it to nobody, literally.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah. It's good to be back. Not so good to be back away from vacation though. I wish I was still on vacation. Things are a little slow here in the cabin, actually, just simply because I'm still sluggish. Trying to make it happen today.
Okay.
All right, let's see. I need to do that share, and the other ones are all ready to go, I think, my friend.
I will just share them here.
All right. So, sorry about that, fellas. Let's see who's on. Hey, Deb, what's going on? Jim Miller, Tom Genzel. Gobble back at you. Actually, Jim, I'm hoping to get out this weekend, the very last weekend. I haven't even bought a tag yet. It's just, everything's just kind of crept up on me. And it's like, if you're going to go, you need to go. If not, just forget about it. So,
Right?
I got the big, gigantic mug of Hunter's Blend here.
You do. You're needing your coffee. You got in a little. You got in your.
I rolled in at 5 o'clock in the morning this morning, man. It was tough. We had a long drive, a long drive, and got a late start. I'll talk a little bit about why I got a late start here in a few minutes, because it was a good reason. Well, actually, no, it wasn't. It wasn't. So.
It wasn't.
Yeah. So there's a story behind that. So.
Oh, there's a story behind it.
Always is, but.
Oh, that's why.
Hopefully everybody has their Hunter's Blend coffee in front of them. I got mine right here. And remember, if you haven't had the opportunity, go over to huntersblend.com, to huntersblendcoffee.com, to their website. Type in the promo code you can actually see right there, UNJ, capital UNJ, and you'll receive 10% off of your order. And they've got the black powder coffee, which is a little bit stronger, and then the regular regular roast right there. So go over there and check it out. Good people doing great things, giving back to a lot of hunting organizations.
Yeah, you posted on.
Hand me that bag real quick. This is new on their bag because people have asked us, well, what hunting organizations do they give to? And we knew a few of them, but we didn't know all of them. But you know what? Look right here. On the back of the bag, they now list all of them. SCI, the Women's Hunting I can't read that, it's so doggone small, but it's a Women's Hunting Association, I believe. The NRA, Sportsman's Alliance, Whitetails Unlimited, Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, and the National Wild Turkey Federation. These guys are giving back part of their proceeds to the groups that support our hunting. So, not everybody can say that.
That's true. True statement.
Hey, Courtney, thanks for joining us. Good to see you on. Terry's on tonight, too. Your brother's watching, so.
He is. All right.
Yeah. So make sure, use that UNJ promo code right there. Get 10% off your order of Hunter's Blend coffee.
Tim Cia says it's sunny in West Virginia.
So, it's sunny in Alabama, too.
Well, it's now sunny here.
We'll talk about this. That's kind of where we'll start things as far as kind of vacation. And I'm not going to talk about everything that I did on vacation. I'm going to talk about the wildlife stuff, the really cool things I saw that was outdoors related. So we'll go down that road. Are you ready? Mm-hmm. All right. Well, let's get this record going and do a show tonight.
All right, let's do it.
Here we go. Stand by. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of the Up North Journal Podcast, everybody. I'm host Mike Adams, sitting in the cabin, and a little dreary, a little rainy, wind's blowing, sitting here with Dan DeFault.
Wind's blowing. It was raining like the dickens earlier.
It was.
I had about 2.5 minutes to spare before it drenched me.
I got the backyard cut.
See, there you go. See, we're both running against time.
The 20 by 20 spot that had been underwater all year finally dried up enough while I was on vacation to come home and cut it. And I got the backyard done, and then it downpoured.
See, and that's funny because it's like nothing's drying out.
No.
It's like...
It's been rain.
Yeah, it's been rain, and then you might get a day, it's like, okay, it's good, and then the next day it rains.
Right. So. Well, I left Sunday morning early, a week ago today. Left bright and early, took off on the road, it was drizzling. It rained all the way until I got into about Nashville.
Oh, okay.
Nashville, Tennessee. All the way.
I was waiting for you to say to Ohio border.
No, it rained all the way down.
Okay.
It was drizzling. And then there was no sunshine at all until I got down and I crossed into Alabama. See that blue sky right there? There's a crack of blue sky. See it?
Yep.
I didn't know what that was. It's been so dark on long.
I would agree with you.
And I didn't see sunshine until I crossed the border. I mean, seriously.
It's one of those things that it's that time. You would think we should be drying out here.
Yeah, no, it was bad. And that was the first time I saw sun in probably a couple weeks. And I'm like, wow, what is that big thing in the sky? And got down to my dad's place down on the farm and kind of hung out for a while.
Got his cattle out of the field.
Yeah.
How many's he got?
About 70 head.
70 head.
Yeah, of beef cattle. So, and
when
you're on the farm, you got to eat good.
Now, that is eating good. I'm not going to lie. Absolutely.
The near half was for me. The far half was for my dad. Actually, I cut that near half in half again and quartered, but I did finish a whole quarter by myself.
My brother continued planting in the rain. He must have been planting his garden.
That ain't good. Hey, Chris Kreiner, what's going on? Hey, Chris, just a quick question for you while we're on here. Have you seen fawn drop yet? I've heard people are seeing fawn drops, and I've been kind of offline here for a while, just wondering. So people are seeing fawn drops. So yeah, I got out and we eat a little food, and then we headed down to the beach.
Eat a little food? It looks like you're eating half of a watermelon there.
Yeah, it was good, man. Southern cooking.
It looks good. It looks red.
I only put on 2 pounds while I was gone. I did weigh when I got home.
You're on vacation. It's all right.
2 pounds.
Tomorrow's back to the gym.
Going back to the gym tomorrow.
I started back today.
Okay. That's good. I saw that. So then we head to Gulf Shores.
Shores, it's water.
Yeah.
It's ocean.
Head to the beach. And, of course, Up North Journal was in the house.
Absolutely. I see that.
Had to. That was my... That was me posting on the wall for Up North Journal.
There you go. Chris says, yes, he found one Friday.
Okay, cool. So the fawns are hitting the ground.
They are.
That means we need to get out and do some coyote hunting.
And I think that's exactly what Chris said.
Okay.
It's time to get out
Start watching for them.
Start watching for them. And but yeah, it was one of those things. You took off, you got down there, you made it to the look at that, and you made Up North Journal mark.
That's right, and footprints and my fingerprint there in the sand, and that was it. And just left tracks and made memories. So yeah, it was cool, man. That was the beach, man, right there on the Gulf of Mexico. But let's get to the good stuff. I mean, that's what this first segment's going to be about right here is, and those of you listening to the podcast, obviously you can't see the photos, so you got to go over and check out our Facebook page, or Wednesday
when I release it to YouTube, you can always pick it up again. I'll release it in YouTube, and then we'll release the link back on Facebook.
Well, while I was down there, I made a friend.
Yeah. So you replaced me?
No, not really.
Oh, okay.
But I had to have somebody to talk to.
Looks like Big Bird.
Yeah, because wife, she just kind of hung out on the beach and chilled, relaxed, and actually that's what we did a lot of. But yeah, this guy come walking up, and it was amazing to see. I don't know, I don't know what kind of bird that is. Is that a heron of some sort?
I'm assuming, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Did he get? How close were you?
I got within probably 20 feet of him.
So he's used to people, obviously.
Yeah, he wasn't scared. There was people all along the beach, and he was just kind of doing his thing. This was at sunset. And the cool thing about this thing is there's a guy fishing, and, dude, he got right up next to him. And he stood there and stood there and stood there while this guy was fishing.
I bet you he was waiting to see if he was going to catch something.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it was.
I bet you he's learned that these guys that do what he's doing bring fish, bring dinner.
It's like, give me something good to eat, give me a treat,
That's
and
awesome.
he stood there like that, and the guy kind of looked at him, and really, it's like, hey, bud, what's up? And he kept fishing, and he'd cast and fish. And
Did the guy catch anything?
No, but I only seen one person catch a fish, but I did see fish down in the water, quite a few, actually.
Oh, okay.
But, he hung around for a little while, and I think he kind of got perturbed after he didn't catch dinner. And
he started walking off?
He's like, yeah, I'm out of here. So,
all right, you're not providing here. I'm out of here.
Yeah, the only thing that out of the whole thing, if you look on the horizon, and those are oil platforms. And we were like right in line, right straight out in front of us was like the easternmost edge of the oil platforms. I counted 26.
Oh, from your view?
Yeah, straight out in front, all the way to the west, western shore.
Okay.
And I know,
actually, I didn't know what they were. That's why I asked you before we came out. I was like, what are I thought they were boats, actually.
Well, I mean, I don't like to see them on the horizon. You're there for the view, but I also understand for us to be able to go up north and do what we do, we got to have fuel.
Got to have fuel, and we don't want to import it, so we got to go get it somehow.
So I'm not going to get on that political kick right now.
Nah.
So, yeah, we hung out, got to see some sunsets and hang out a little bit. There's a couple more little artsy-fartsy pictures we'll throw up. But it was all good, hanging out. I got to relax. But I caught a fish while I was down there.
Well, what did you catch?
I caught this guy.
Well, he fits in the palm of your hand.
Yeah, he was floating in the water, and I scooped him up.
Actually, it looks like you could use him as a dagger.
Well, I posted this online, and we had 3 or 4 guys that listened to the show post, and it said, that's a ballyhoo.
Now, question I have, is that a small one, big one? Are they small like this? Or?
They said put it on a hook and cast it out because that's what they use to catch like big fin tuna and blue marlin, stuff like that.
So it's a bait fish.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, okay. So a ballyhoo.
I guess that's what they are called, is a ballyhoo, yes. Let's see if I can find the picture here a little closer. The thing that struck me odd about this little guy was the bill on him is below his mouth instead of above like you'd see like on the swordfish.
So would that be to scoop?
I don't know. It was like a needle. It was more like a needle on him than anything.
A needle, okay.
Yeah, like a spear. And on the tip of it, you can't see it right there really plain, but it was red, like a blood red. I don't know if that was if that was to attract. I don't know. I don't know if it was to attract something so he could eat it. But
that is pretty cool.
Courtney said that she thought that was a crane of some sort. That she thought exactly. Yeah, I had no idea.
I'm gonna go with the crane family.
Yeah,
just not what sure.
I just wonder if it's the ones that we're talking about hunting here. Sandhill cranes. Yeah.
A ribeye in the sky.
I did see like a cutout of a ribeye on the side of that bird at one point.
Oh, I know, right? Absolutely, I would too. There's no doubt about it.
And speaking of people getting their lunch and everything, this guy here was trying to eat that crab, and he was having none of it.
Oh, that was a live crab.
That was a live crab, and that bird, seagull there, was trying to get a hold of him. And as he's dancing sideways to get away from him, he's snapping that one claw at him as the bird's trying to peck at him. I wish I'd had video.
That would have been funny. That would have absolutely been funny.
It was pretty comical.
So he never did get him.
No, he didn't. He went back in the water and away he went.
Did you see that in the morning when you went out?
That was first morning, yeah.
When you would go out in the morning, did you see a lot of things washed up on shore in the morning?
Yeah, more so than in the evening, yeah. Okay. Especially even like seashells and stuff. People go and pick them up.
Right, exactly. That's just wondering.
A lot of birds, sandpiper out there doing his thing. I have a feel those things nest quite a bit, but the best part of everything was a scene like this. I took this photo eating dinner in Florida while everything you see in the photo is in the state of Alabama. We're right on the Florida-Bama line. And all I can say is, yes, I did go to Florida-Bama, and what happens in Florida-Bama stays in Florida-Bama.
There you go, see?
Now, my wife and I, we went over to the club across the street. It's pretty cool. If you're ever there, I highly recommend going there just for the experience alone. It was pretty cool. So
Excellent. You were recommended to go there, didn't you?
Yeah, by Dave Wilkins.
Dave Wilkins.
So...
Mr. Dave.
Yeah, I got to see a lot of critters down there. So, I mean, while we were there, I didn't see any alligators, didn't see any sharks, but I did see a lot of fish in the water.
Cool, that's good.
Some of them were, yay long, foot and a half long.
Right, exactly. You dipped your toes in the ocean and saw all the live things in there.
Yeah, and it's just good to relax and recharge your batteries. And I was always looking at critters.
Absolutely.
It's like, how could I hunt that? How could I eat that? And some of them I did eat. I had a lot of shrimp down there too.
Right.
Shrimp and whitefish. We eat quite a bit of that. So,
that's awesome. You went off and recharged your batteries. I went away for a couple days myself that weekend, and I ended up running into a familiar face of ours.
I saw that. How did that happen? And tell everybody who that was.
Well, when you're out in the middle of, well, I guess it's not nowhere when you're over on the south side of Grand Rapids.
Hastings is kind of in the middle of the.
So actually, we went and actually looked for Gun Lake.
Okay.
And there's a state park over there. So which is
north of
south
Grand Rapids,
southeast of Grand Rapids.
Okay, it's not the same Gun Lake I'm thinking of, because a buddy of mine that I work with has a cabin on Gun Lake.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's the same one.
No, his is up past
okay.
Manistee or Manistique.
Manistee.
Manistee, yeah.
So we went and found this park. Okay, we checked it out. It was kind of blustery and windy and not really good for fishing. So we're like, we'll just cruise around. Come upon this sign that says Hastings, this way. And
you hastily went that way.
You ever been to Hastings? Nope. You? No. Let's go. All right. So we went to Hastings. So we're driving down, and she goes, hey, there's Bob's Gun and Tackle. I think it's Bait, Gun and Tackle. And I remember seeing their ads in the Michigan Outdoors magazines.
Right.
All the time. Mm-hmm. I said, oh, yeah, okay, I remember. And right underneath that sign is this big black truck that says Killer Food Plots on it.
Did you see Nick?
So I'm like, she goes, hey, you want to stop? And I said, all right. Here I am in the middle of nowhere on vacation, and I'm going to pull in because there's a Killer Food Plots. Sure enough, I go in, ask where Nick is. And this is kind of, I've never been in this place before.
Right.
And they actually have a bargain barn, which is like an eighth of a mile behind the store.
Okay.
So you have to take a 2-track down to the bargain barn.
That's cool.
Right. So pull up, walk in, and there's Nick giving his speech. So I got to talk with Nick.
That's cool.
Yeah, so we're going to have him on the show and talk with him a little bit. And
it is that time of year.
It is. Talked with him and Lincoln Roan, and cause they live so close to each other up there. But no, I got to see Nick on my little vacation there, and it's amazing when you're out traveling in the middle of nowhere what you run into or who you run into.
Right, absolutely.
So he was talking about getting things in the ground, food plotting, and he had about a dozen people there.
Okay.
And they were listening to his seminar, and it was pretty cool. So yeah, got to see Nick and talk to him a little bit.
Well, I know you mentioned Lincoln Roan and Nick, you got something going next weekend.
Absolutely.
I tell you what, let's take a break. Come back. I want to pick your brain a little bit about what you got going and what you're going to be doing at camp here
All right.
to get prepared for deer season.
Absolutely.
So we're going to step outside real quick, and we'll be right back after this. And for those of you on the live stream, hang on. You got questions, shoot them to us, and we'll try to answer them here on the live stream. Hey, yeah, exactly, Deb. Yep, bait fish. Yep, she said bait.
Yeah.
Yeah, she knows her bait. You know?
She does.
All right, let me save this one off here, and we'll get going with segment 2. Anybody else out there seeing any fawns yet? We asked in the first segment there, we asked Chris Kreiner if he'd seen any. So, is anybody else seen anything out there yet about fawns? Fawns hitting the ground? This past week, people are talking about it.
I see Heather Reimer started taking some pictures of fawns wherever she goes to get her pictures of her deer.
Yeah.
There's now fawns there.
Okay.
She did have a picture of one of this doe that was just absolutely huge.
I did see that while I was on vacation.
And I want to say I think she proved it out that it was triplets.
Okay. And didn't she go back to how many days of gestation?
Oh yeah, she counted back.
And
Yeah.
it was early.
Yeah, so
That doe was bred early.
right. And we know all about that from Dr. Deer himself.
Right. Okay. Actually, I got to talk a little bit about Dr. Deer while I was on vacation.
Did you?
Yeah. Yeah, him and Wayne Sitton. So I want to talk about that here in the show tonight. So it's pretty interesting conversation. And actually, I want to base a lot of what we're going to talk about after we catch what you're going to do about that experience. Here we go. Stand by in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back. Second segment of the show. Back from vacation. Danny and I both. Danny took a short one. I took a long one. Hey, Ken Cicluna, what's going on tonight? Good to see you in the cabin with us tonight. So
it's
Memorial Day weekend coming
It's
up.
Memorial Day weekend. It's my annual trip up to the cabin.
This be your first time up?
Yep.
So you don't know what you're going to run into when you get there.
So you drive in, you got the chainsaw in a location you can properly get to it, just in case you can't get down the trail. Mm-hmm. So,
isn't that kind of fun though? I mean, you don't want a bunch of work, but it's like it's anticipation. Am I going to get into camp, or am I going to do a little work?
So as you come down the trail, at one point you should be able to see the roof of the cabin.
You should be. What does that mean?
Well, that's the question. You always first thing is you turn down, you come down the trail and you hit the gate, you unlock the gate and you can see down the trail, and you're like looking to see if anything's crossed the trail.
Yeah.
Then you have to deal with that if you have to.
Okay.
Then as you start going down the trail, you start looking. You can see the electrical pole, and then you start to see the top of the roof. Then everything should be okay.
Okay.
Because when you don't see a roof, that's not a good sign.
Is the roof blown off the place, or is there too much snow on it that you can't see the roof?
Or it has too much snow taking it down.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha.
So that's always like the first, get into camp, get through the trail, make sure the cabin's still standing, unlock the door, and then breaking open the cabin, getting the water up and running, and seeing how everything's made it through the winter. Right now, I know there's a lot of water up there. Mm-hmm. And so...
do you have to worry about flooding of your place?
No.
Or are you up high enough?
What they did, basically, when they built this cabin was they actually went through the swamp and came up to like a high spot.
Okay.
And then that's where they put it. So the creek will probably be high, but our bridge is like got 7 layers to it.
Okay.
So should be okay.
All right.
But then once you get in there and you get it up and running and you get a fire going to get the dampness out of the cabin, then it's time to decide what you're going to do. Mm-hmm. Obviously, make all your repairs if necessary first. But I want to get up there and I got some food plots I want to throw in this month so I can get them going and get some summer food plots for the deer.
Okay.
What I want to do is I'm going to take the Packer Max with me.
Okay.
Lincoln, you did this down in Indiana, mm-hmm. and Lincoln kind of mentioned about using it as well for. I got to see how. I don't know how tall the weeds are. I don't know what I'm getting into yet.
Okay.
So, can I mow it? Can I weed whack them?
Right.
Can I, I'll have my 4-wheelers with me with the drag. I just don't know what I'm going to run into yet.
Now, these are the food plots you've already planted last year?
Yep, I planted them last year, and so I got to get into them. The one I'm hoping I can do a little bit more work on, it's kind of the one that's more in the open. I want to get that. I want to get some seed down there, get that Packer Max in there, kind of get things turned up. Between the Packer Max and the drag, I think I should be able to do a pretty good job.
Okay.
I'd like to one day get a rototiller or a of that nature in there and kind of get
the ground broke.
Right.
So, when we had that down there in Indiana, we noticed in that small clearing that we made, I wish I had the photos of it, but I didn't know we were going to go this direction with the talk tonight. But as we turned and made circles as we were turning with that Packer Max, what's the width
4
on
feet.
that? 4 feet wide. That thing was turning. Obviously, when you take a corner, it turns quicker on the outside than it does on the inside. So it actually tears the ground up a little bit.
You gave me that idea to do that, and I'm hoping with it being soft ground,
It'll do that.
I'll be able to do that, and I'll probably use the 4-wheeler like you did, because I don't think my Ranger might be too big
for a turning circle
for a turning.
radius?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm hoping the 4-wheeler will be able to do that. And like Deb says, getting the critters out. Yeah, you never know what you might find inside.
Okay.
One year we found a weasel.
Nice. Little guest.
A little white weasel.
Did you? Oh, ermine.
It was pretty funny actually. Yeah, it was one of those YouTube moments when your cousin comes out on the front porch and says, "We got a problem." Huh? What?
It's Houston, we got a problem. Danny, we got a problem.
Right. So it actually went out the door and it was good. And then my brother's asking, am I taking more apple trees? I'm not taking them this time. I'll probably, if that'll probably be a Labor Day thing.
Okay.
I'll take them up in Labor Day for the fall. I do want to see how our apple trees did do. Going in with low expectations, because I know those deer up there will.
Right.
I put a fence around it. I put an orange snow fence around it.
Right.
But I don't know what the snow did to the fencing.
Right. I got you.
Right. So.
Yeah. Interesting. Take some before and after pictures of your fields.
Absolutely.
Let us kind of know what you're doing up there, and your trees too. See how they did.
I'm hoping the couple trees in the woods made it. I'm hoping the ones in the fields made it as well. So I think I want to get some oats and clover.
That's what I was going to ask you. What are you going to plant?
I know Wayne has mentioned about getting some oats down and some red clover, I think it was. I'd like to get some of that, pick some up, get that down. I know my cousin's got some seed as well. I'll probably bring home some soil samples.
That was going to be the next thing. Have you taken soil samples?
I did. This would be the second year.
Okay.
This is the start of the second summer. I took it the first summer.
Okay.
I didn't, or did I do it last year?
Did you put anything into the soil?
I did. Yep, I did exactly what they recommended. So now I'm going to take a soil sample from each field
and see what it's doing.
Send it, and see where I'm at.
Okay, cool.
And hopefully, the pH level will be better.
There you go.
So, up there we can also put out minerals. I will check. I know we got a couple of blocks out. So I'll check to see how those are looking. If I can get my hands on a couple other ones, I'll add that out there, and then I might put up some cameras.
Okay.
Because I'll be going back in July.
Okay.
So I'll be starting to set my cameras up because I'll do it in Memorial. I'll catch them in July, and then I'll reset them and get them in Labor Day.
So you put them on now, you start to see that antler development.
Yep, I'll start to see the antlers, and I'll start to see the young ones start to coming by, along with the young bear, and the wolves, and everything else that lives up there.
Have you ever got a wolf on camera?
Yes, got a wolf.
Yeah, I think you did show me
Yeah.
that, didn't you? If I remember right. I don't know why I asked that. I can't remember. I'm getting old.
You are, and you're right. So Ken is going to plant some chestnut trees up on their property. Interesting choice.
In the UP.
Yeah.
Are those American chestnuts, Ken, by chance? And if so, let us know how those do. I've heard some people have problems with those.
This far north.
Yeah, not that they don't grow. They do grow. They just don't produce a mass crop.
Yeah, you got to watch because we might be on the northern edge of their boundaries.
Well, we're close. So,
and like we've talked before, when you buy things from nurseries, if you can get them from a nursery around here where they're raised around here, as opposed if you were to take I'll just say for extreme wise, Southern Florida nursery and throw it up into the UP.
Yeah.
Tree gets a little shocked unless.
Yeah, you think of it like it was just like me going on vacation. I went from here. It was in the 40s and 50s, and I traveled, a day all the way down to the Gulf, and it's 80 degrees, and it's like,
right?
This is hot.
Did you get sunburned?
My below my knees did a little bit, and top of my feet.
I saw you were wearing the Cabela's
quick dry shirt.
Quick dry shirt.
Yeah, the real cool one that actually pulls perspiration. And some people were giving me a little grief about it. Hey, you're supposed to be out. As a kid, I spent a lot of time in the sun roofing houses, and I used to blister like crazy. And as you get older, you worry about skin cancer, so I cover up and I use my fishing shirt.
I tell you what,
it was nice and cool.
Well, that's along those lines, and this is just a safety thing. Wearing ear protection now to cut my lawn.
Yeah.
Something
I wish I'd done some stuff like that, because now I got constant ringing. I got tinnitus like crazy in my ears.
Right, I never would have thought that, but now lately in the last few years with this push for safety, it goes from the workplace. It's actually trickling home now, whether it be eye protection or hearing protection or sun protection.
Yep.
And at our age, I hate to admit it, skin cancer type things, we don't want to play around with that.
No, I don't want to have to deal with it. And, I still get enough sun as it is. I'm not, tan by any stretch of the imagination, but, I got a little bit on my face, and I got a little bit of peeling on my nose. So, I got some sun, enough that I wanted.
There you go.
That was it. So,
and that's one of those things. I need about 100% blocker.
Right. Yeah, you're fair skinned as well.
Right. So, so this weekend, get up there, get the cabin open. Once that gets settled down, probably spend Saturday just putting in food plots, getting everything tested, pulling the soil samples to bring home, send those, get tested. So when I go back in July, I can pick up what I need on my way up, have it, throw it out on the plots.
Do you fully open up camp, turn water on and all that?
Yep. Absolutely. It's always. Yes.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Because you just basically replumbed the whole place last time.
We just replumbed it.
You put PEX in, right?
Yep, we put PEX in last year.
This will be interesting to see how that works.
Right?
I don't mean to laugh, but you're going to find out. Yeah, hopefully it's real smooth, because I know last time you went up, you had a heck of a time.
Yeah, the last time we had all the pipes frozen. That didn't go over.
Turn the water on, it looked like the Bellagio.
Yeah.
Fountains everywhere.
Fountains everywhere was right. Oh, so Ken's got an answer. They were from Pennsylvania, not sure on the kind of chestnut.
Okay.
These ones are supposed to produce in 5 to 6 years. We shall see. We got them for $10 a piece. So there you go. $10 a piece. Plant 6 of them. See what happens.
Right.
You can't go wrong. $10 a piece and see what happens. You can't go wrong with that.
Denny Steiner's in the house tonight. Hey, Denny, what's going on?
Denny Steiner.
So I tell you what, let's go ahead and we'll throw it to another break, and we come back. If you got any questions on that, we'll cover those, and we'll kind of move along, because I got some stuff I really want to talk about. I'm going to pick Danny's brain a little bit too here. So we're going to step outside, take our second break. We'll be right back after this. Those of you on the live stream got questions, throw them our way.
That's right, throw them our way. Deb says, yeah. She knows.
So when you go up there and you turn the water on, do you put your bathing suit on so you can get ready to jump it like in the sprinkler?
Yeah, it's sometimes you get wet.
Well, we opened up our camp. We had our annual meeting, and I went into the restroom, and there's just a little bit of water on the floor. And we got a pipe that runs on that outside wall, and obviously it didn't. Something's going on. We're having it.
Yeah,
we're checking it now. It's not a lot. It's just enough to make it
just
wet.
enough to make it wet, and you can see something's going on there.
Yeah.
That's the thing. When I hope it goes together well. That's always the question mark.
Right.
My cousin will be up there shortly after I am.
So you got backup.
So if I need help, he'll be down to help.
That's good.
Yeah. So we got each other covered. Especially if I got to repair some stuff, because I think he's got the tools to repair it.
All right. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back. Third segment of the show. What is going on? You're laughing over there. What's up?
Deb says you pray.
You pray when you turn the water on.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You wait until that pump cycles
and stops.
and you're like,
And then you listen for the drip or the spray.
or the spray.
I hear
So,
you. Well, so you're going to camp and opening camp up. I've been to camp. We had our annual meeting at our camp. While I was on vacation, I went and visited a deer camp
oh yeah,
with my dad
Okay.
that he's looking at. And as you know, we talked about it on the show that I've actually got partnered with 3 other guys down in Indiana
Yep.
on a camp there. So after being at our camp, you getting ready to go open your camp, me going and visiting another one out of state and starting another one, it's like all this stuff about camps, talking about camps,
yep.
talking about rules, talking about like-minded people. And I thought, this is a good opportunity right now of some of the situations I've seen. I know yours is a little different because yours is family-oriented. About if you were to join a camp, what would that be like? And what are some of the things you should consider when joining a camp? Is it a right fit for me, or is it not a right fit for me?
That is an interesting question. We'll go on the premise you're joining a non-family camp.
That's kind of
because
things that
we'll
we're on.
stay on that side of it, because obviously with my camp being all family, it's all family typically, and
And that can create a whole set of unique circumstances. We'll just leave it at that. Because the reality is, whether it's 4 people, whether it's 9 people, or whether it's 15 people, it's hard to get everybody on the same page and point that bus in a direction and head towards that goal.
Okay, so let's go with this. You're joining the camp. Are you joining it blindly, or are you being invited by another member that says, "Hey, would you join my camp with me?" Let me ask you that, because
I say that again?
are you joining it blindly? You're
Okay.
just, "Hey, there's an opening here for in this camp. I want to join."
Yeah.
Or are you having a friend say, "Hey, I got a camp. Would you like to join and come into our camp?"
Right.
The reason I'm asking is because, just like you said, if you go blindly into a camp, it's kind of hard to gauge where everybody's at, whether you're at 4, 9, 15, and say,
And what does that mean?
right, am I walking into conservation gun ho, or am I walking into right on the next to the
Brown is down.
membership of PETA?
Yeah.
You don't know what their mindset is, and so when you think about that, it almost like you'd wish if this happens, you'd want somebody that you know going in, so there's at least 2 of you,
Right.
because usually that person is pretty like-minded.
Right. Exactly.
You know,
Those are some of the things that we're dealing with. I'm going to put this out there right now. The camp we looked at, and I'm not going to say the name of the camp or anything. I'm not even going to tell you exactly where it's at, other than the fact it's in central Alabama, that my dad went and looked at. And they're looking for members. They've had 5 people leave their camp, and it was because of not being like-minded. And at the camp I belong to right now, the one here in Michigan, we had 4 people just step away from our camp for the same reasons, because of what people expect out of camp and the things that the camp actually offers.
well, it's almost like if you're doing an interview, like the first question is, what does camp mean to you?
Right.
Because to some people it means, hey, I'm going to go up, I'm going to be a person that hunts most of the time, I'm going to be up there quite often throughout the year to see how it goes.
Yep.
Or are you the guy that, well, it's November 14th, I got my gun, I got my bullets,
Yeah, I'm
I
going
got
to
my
camp.
orange, I'm going north to camp,
Yep.
I'm going to be there 3 days, maybe, and then I'm going to come home. And
Yep.
that's all you see of camp for the entire year. So that has, yeah, that's an interesting question. Definitely going in, and then, you're in there, and then if you have meetings to discuss rules, bylaws, and that, kind of getting a gist of where Hunter 1 sits, Hunter 2 sits, and just kind of start to feel, are they approachable?
Yeah. Does the camp offer, the camp as a whole is an open book, and you maybe make a draw for your blind for that morning or stand, or do you have a dedicated hunting area for you and your family only? You know, those are some of those types of
Well,
things.
that's some of the rules, that are always talked
Things to
about.
consider.
Are they going to allow bow hunting? Are they going to allow rifle muzzleloading? Are they going to allow youth hunt? All these things got to be settled upon because some people don't like.
What you expect out of a camp could be totally different than what's offered when you get involved. It's those questions
Absolutely.
that you need to ask.
Right, and like I know you had when you started getting your camp at the time up here in Michigan, going down we need to shoot more does because obviously you were overrun by them, and some people didn't take it the right way, and you had to have a sit down and have a hunter to hunter talk with them and say, hey, it's going to be okay.
Right.
And lo and behold, the next year you were covered up in them again.
Right.
So when you can't put a food plot in, and you sit there and look at it and go, and you can't figure it out if it's growing, but yet it's only this tall.
You put a grow cage in, it's this tall inside the grow cage.
Right, exactly. So
Yeah, you got issues. But those are the types of things, old school hunters versus new school. What I call new school, people who are of the land management and wild game management, herd management style versus, like you said, I'm not shooting any does. I'm not going to do that. We just don't do that.
I tell you what. Let me ask you this. See, you might not. I wish I had the technology today that I had when I first started hunting to show, at the time, the older guys. Because the decisions they made back then
Right.
were like, but if you see it on a game camera, you'd be like, they are here.
Right. Right.
We got to do some things in this forest. And that brings up land management, right?
Right.
So, and to answer my brother's question, has it ever not leaked when you opened it up? I think there's a couple times that we lucked out.
Open up camp and no water leaks.
Yeah, I think there was a few times that.
I'm thinking that Danny the plumber did a fine job, and I bet you open it up and you don't have any leaks.
I got to hand it out to my cousin and his son and son-in-law. And my brother was there too, and it was a busy weekend, but we got it done. So now I'm just hoping everything was shut down properly.
Right.
And everything goes in. So, but no, going back to your question about camps, walking into a blind camp, just signing up and saying, hey, that would be interesting.
Well, that's kind of what my dad and I did. He's heard a lot about this camp, and they're looking for members. So anybody that's looking for a hunting camp or hunting opportunity in Central Alabama, get a hold of me and I'll pass the name along to the person that's taking prospective members. Because that's what we did. My dad got a hold of this guy through mutual friends. Said, hey, I'd like to come take a look and see what you've got to offer. And while I was on vacation, actually what's today? Sunday. This was yesterday morning. We met this gentleman in a nearby town and followed this person down to their camp. Halfway there, in the middle of nowhere, my dad's truck dies.
Really?
That was the interesting part. That's why I was late getting home.
That's why you were late getting out of heading home. So
we went down, and actually the tour of the property took a lot longer than what I thought.
How many acres?
2,600. It's a big camp. It's huge.
Because yours is 640 here, right?
Yes.
Oh, my.
And the thing that my dad, being an old school hunter, and what was nice is the guy that we went with down there, and another member who was there that same time, all four of us rode around together on the property in a truck. And the fact that my dad's truck broke down on the way down, we finished the trip going down with the gentleman we were following. So the three of us were in the truck, and we got to listen to him talk about camp, their hunting styles, philosophy, what they want to do with the camp. And then he got to listen more so to me than my dad about hunting philosophy and what we believe in. They're wanting to go in the direction of deer management. They've started about 3 years ago, which is actually about the same time we started our camp.
Yep.
So I give them my background and what I've learned and kind of what I thought and how it might apply to that camp. So it was a really good conversation, back and forth. And then the other gentleman, like I said, we got to camp. He joined us, and they took us around. But this is a lease. It's all lease property, which has its own unique set of circumstances.
Yes.
versus buying land. But the biggest thing I was trying to convince my dad, he's going to be 75 this year. And it boils down to opportunity. He wants to hunt. He doesn't want to drive all the way to Michigan anymore, which I understand why. The opportunity's not there in Indiana for me to bring him to Indiana, just by the rules that we have set up at that camp. And he just wants to get out and do some hunting on some big bucks. They got big bucks.
Do they?
Well, they got big bucks.
Okay.
Yeah. Trail cam photos do not lie.
Right? No, they don't lie.
The tracks that I saw while on the property, in the 2 tracks, do not lie.
Okay.
The sign that I saw a ton of turkey, and actually saw turkey poults that couldn't have been hatched more in a couple days.
Really?
That was cool. Yeah. But there was hens all over the place, so I figured they're just now, their clutches are just now hatching.
Okay.
So they were all on the ground, obviously middle of the day, but they were in some thick cover. So that was pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. So this place offers the ability to deer hunt and turkey hunt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any other game?
Not really. I mean, there's some small game opportunity, but yeah, maybe some quail. I'm not sure. I didn't ask that.
Don't think about that here in Michigan.
Right. Can't kill the songbird.
Right.
So, but my dad, he keeps going, well, I just don't know if I want to spend the money, because there's no lodge there or common house to use as sleeping quarters like we've got here in Michigan.
Oh, so
Campers.
Okay, campers. Okay.
And they do have power on the property, which is nice the way they had it set up. Come off power pole, they had 10 or 12 different lots, poles with a plug-in, so you can plug your camper in.
Okay, so almost like a mini campground.
Yep, exactly.
Oh, okay. So you bring your camper, you're hunting the leases.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I kept telling him, that's like, Dad, you don't understand. In order to hunt big bucks now, just the reality of hunting in today's world, if you want to hunt big bucks, there's 3 things. You either got to join a hunt club, or you've got to buy land, and the hunt club like we've got, you got to buy into and then pay dues, or you get into one like down there where there's no land, you lease it, so it's just annual dues.
Right.
Or you go to an outfitter and pay an outfitter to hunt big bucks.
Yeah, we see it here in Michigan that there are big bucks on state land, but that's not guaranteed. You can hunt that buck regularly and go out there and there's somebody sitting in your tree, right next to your tree stand.
Exactly. Yeah.
So the opportunities here and basically anywhere that to get on state land. I don't know if state land down there or they have a type of state land.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay, they do. Okay, good.
Yeah, there's national forest within about 2 miles of of my family farm.
So my guess is when the season opens up, the deer leave and head for private land.
Down there, that national forest is it's extremely hard to hunt because it's deep ravines and hills.
Really?
Tall. It's just one after the other, and no four-wheelers or vehicles allowed.
So it's all walking.
Yes.
And you can be walking for a while.
You could walk for days.
Oof.
Days. Yes. It's that big. I mean, it hunts big. It is big.
Wow.
A lot of people get lost in there.
Is there an amount? How many hunters limited to this camp?
Yes, they've got 12 total memberships, and I think they're looking for 4 more people, I think.
So, okay, so you talked about that's another part of going into a camp or getting pulled into a camp or whatever you're going to call it. Being able to sit around and talk. Being able to sit around with the guys or gals and finding out what their thoughts are.
Right.
You had a little bit of opportunity, which was kind of cool, to hear his philosophy.
Yes.
And then he listened to your philosophy.
Yep.
So that's kind of cool. Man, almost like an interview process, really.
It is, and really, if you're going to join a hunting camp, no matter what, if it's a club like here in Michigan, or if it's one like down in Indiana or Alabama, or you're wanting to start one, I will say this: starting a hunting camp with your friends sometimes might not be the best thing to do, because I'll tell you, just like putting friendships together in a working condition, it can work great, or it can tear a friendship apart. It can blow a friendship apart.
Absolutely.
Luckily, Up North Journal is the reason I met you.
Yeah.
It wasn't the fact that I met you, then we did Up North Journal.
Right.
You
No,
know, so.
actually, it worked the other way. And and that's funny you mentioned that. That's also the reason I bring this up is because I see my brother's watching. He hunts private land, but he hunts a basically it's a narrow strip.
Okay.
So depending on which way it goes, he might have issues going to one neighbor as opposed to another neighbor.
Right.
So and that's another
Dynamic.
that we have the same problem up at our camp as well. If it goes, we know if it goes to one neighbor, he's going to be pretty cheesed off, and we still don't know why. But it's just like, so not only do you have to have relationships within the camp, try to get relationships around the camp.
Right. Right.
Because
That's a tough one. When you've got, well, like we have our co-op up at our place. There's been some issues with that. I'm not even going to get into here on the show. But if you're trying to get somebody into the co-op, or somebody's trying to get you to join a co-op, and there's friction between you guys, that can cause huge implications.
and that friction can be over something really, really small,
or really big.
or really, really big.
Yeah.
And then you might not even know you cheesed them off.
Yeah.
So communication is a big thing. You see it at your job, and I see it at my job.
Yep.
So if there's one thing that's definitely you got to check into in a camp is communication factor. It's become a lot easier with emails and
Right.
the internet.
Right.
I know you had your with your place up north able to share photos and everything. And
Right.
Get on a Facebook page private and that. Man, do that back in the day. I remember when my dad, they had hunting meetings. Basically, there's a barbecue over at the guy's house. But,
Right.
It's like, hey, we're going to go over, and all the guys from the camp are going to be there, which is pretty much mainly all family, plus a couple others. Then we go have a barbecue, and they talk or whatever. But yeah, I'd say communication, knowing your neighbors, knowing who you're getting in with.
Knowing the people in your camp.
Right.
That's the first and foremost important thing. Hunting philosophy is huge. It is huge. It can divide a camp up. Baiting or not baiting, whether it's legal or not legal.
Do they like? I'm just gonna throw this out. Do they like the youth season?
Right. Yeah.
Because I know in this state, there's some people that are they
Dead set against it.
dead set against it because they think they go out there and the kids don't shoot the bucks, the parents do, vice versa, whatever. But yeah, you'd have to. When can you go into the woods?
Yep. Is there a quiet time beforehand? How long is that quiet time?
Oh, that is one rule at your camp that just absolutely just bewilders me.
Well, that's going to change.
Is that no hunting the week before gun season?
That's going to change.
That's like prime time.
It's but those are things that when my dad got into that camp, that's the way it was. And
Well, yeah, that's it.
I was just along for the ride. I couldn't say anything.
See, at the time, how many of them bow hunted?
My dad and one other person. That's why.
2 out of 9.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, there was 10 at that time.
Oh, 2 out of 10. Okay.
Yeah, there's 9 now. But the point was, yeah, a lot of them don't allow bow hunting because most of them are rifle hunters in some camps, and they don't want people killing the bucks before they get the opportunity to.
Right.
Those are things you really got to think about before you join a camp.
Absolutely.
If you become a bow hunter later on, like my dad, he doesn't bow hunt so much now. He's using a crossbow.
He could get out there though.
It's those types of things. You really gotta think about. So.
Okay, so my brother just confirmed it. Bad issues, not friendly. 600 feet wide by a half a mile deep.
That's tough hunting.
That's what he hunts.
And that's you think about the main section of our property here in Michigan. It's a half mile wide, mile and a half long. It's not square. It's rectangle. It makes it tough for people to get to certain stands and driving issues, like you said.
Oh yeah,
driving through a certain spot where somebody may be hunting, or or are you sharing areas?
Oh, that's the other part. Does if you're a early riser, like to get to your stand an hour before daylight, get everything calmed down, and you got Mr. 5 Minute Man zipping through at 100 miles an hour in his truck,
or a quad or whatever,
whatever it might be, trying to get there as the sun's coming up because he typically runs late. It's like, ugh.
Right.
Been there.
So it's just a lot of things to think about when you're going to join or start a hunting camp.
And that even goes if you guys join up together and not even a camp, but just say a group that starts going to a state land area, because then you run into you get into the okay, we're in this area all the time, but then actually I think it was Patrick Durkin, he on his elk hunts, he'd always go to the same place, and all of a sudden one year shows up and there's
Somebody else there.
somebody else there, and he's like, uh-oh, so that's
Push in deeper.
right.
Yeah.
So that's some of the things. You almost want like an interview process, but things change over time too.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, that's what we're doing at our camp. So, just putting that out there right now. Like I said, we've got four memberships open at our place.
Yep.
So, if anybody's looking, we're looking. We're not ready to take anybody in just yet, but that's something. If you're interested, just PM me and let me know, and we can talk.
We can talk.
So,
you gotta like talking.
but yeah, it's strange how a critter with fur on him and antlers on his head can divide people so strongly,
Right. Exactly.
So
how that goes.
absolutely. So I tell you what, let's step outside. Let's take our next break. We come back. We'll wrap up the show. We've chewed up a little bit of time here, so we'll step outside and be right back after this. All right, folks, on the live stream, a lot of comments here. People talking a little bit about deer camps. If you're looking, or you got a phone call?
Yeah. From potential spam.
Oh, nice.
8:00 on a Sunday night. That's what I want to talk about.
Does he not know we're doing a show?
Right.
What's up with him? All right, hang on one second here. Yeah, it really is amazing.
Yeah,
how critters can do that to people.
Critters, and it's an interesting concept you brought up. That's a good question. I like that. It was you almost want to interview some people at times, but then things change over time.
True.
Some people that are the big hunters are like, as they get older, just I know my dad was one of them. He used to be a big hunter, and then by the time he got into his older years, it was like,
yeah,
I
right.
don't care.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back. Last segment of the show. We got about 10 minutes or so here to
Last segment of the show.
chat it up a little bit, talking about deer camps and joining deer camps or starting deer camps and bringing new people in or what have you. It's I would joining a blind one would be interesting, but could be dangerous. I'd rather join with a friend anyways. Well, my dad joined that way. He actually joined kind of blind when he got into the camp.
Is that how he did it?
Yeah, kind of. Well, a friend of his told him that a friend of his was a member there and was going to sell their membership.
Oh, okay. And
So-
he wanted a place to hunt.
Yep, wanted another another place to hunt, and that became our place to hunt at that time.
Gotcha.
We sold our cabin after that, but long story short, my dad retired, moved south, handed the membership off to me, and I'm into started into deer management about the time that I got the membership handed to me. So, I started kind of pushing a little bit on that side, and that's kind of where we're at now. And like I said, the mindsets change. People get older. The way people hunt changes, or maybe they don't change, and the group wants to move a direction. And that's kind of what happened at our place. The group wants to move a direction, and some didn't want to go that direction, and things in their life had changed, and they decided, okay, well, you know what, we'll just let somebody else come in and
and
take the camp in that direction.
And my family, gosh, always hunted the UP.
Yeah,
They had one spot, hunted for years together,
tradition.
and then then we ended up moving to another spot. We sold one spot, and it was like I said. That's why I wish I had my knowledge back in the '80s, and I was a little bit older. But stuff happens.
It
is what
does.
it is, right?
Traditions sometimes get in the way of hunting camps as well.
So the younger cousins that we have got together. We got what we got today, and it's working out good. Like you said, we're all family.
Right.
So we're all on the same mindset. basically, and it's one of those things. We have a good time. We get to see family, and we bring up friends every once in a while, and we have a good time. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Traditions are fun.
They're fun, but they can also get in the way of some things that you're trying to accomplish.
Oh yeah, especially if you get some. Well, if you get some people that are doing it for the sort I'm looking for the I want to say chic, but the I'm a hunter and I'm gonna go sit in the lodge and I'm gonna
Go kill a deer.
but that's about all I'm gonna do.
The male machismo side of it.
Right. It's look at me. Look at me. I go to a lodge and I do this and I do that. It's just like, well,
Yeah, I just want to go in the woods and
I want to go in
Make
the
it
woods,
better.
have some fun, make it better, see the birds and the squirrels and the deer and the bear and everything. But when I get back to camp, I want to have some fun too.
Sure.
Talking and having a good time instead of
swapping stories and telling lies.
right, exactly. Instead of some of these people, it's like, where on planet Earth are you coming from?
Right. Yeah. It's sometimes it makes you go, huh?
That's no lie there, because that just, and we see it sometimes when we're out doing our public events. It's like,
Yeah.
we love to listen to people talk. Don't get us wrong.
But you can tell right away.
But there's some stories you just like, whoa.
Yeah, you can tell right away of what type of person they are in the woods
Right.
or at camp or whatever it is.
Kid you not, I had one guy when I was hunting in Mile. The last time I hunted in Mile, the guy, I looked at his buck, and basically his motto was keep shooting until it was down.
How many holes they have in it?
He had 5 holes in it.
Wow.
I kid you not. And I was like, excuse me, where are you hunting? Because I'm not going there.
Right. Right.
And it was basically his motto was shoot until it's down. He hit it. He shot the front leg off, shot an antler off, shot it in the neck, shot it in the rear, and I think he hit it one more time. And I was like, whoa. Check, please.
Yeah,
I'm leaving.
that's the kind of person you don't want to be anywhere near.
Again in Mile the last year, coming across.
That was state land, I take it.
Yes, coming across up over a hill. All of a sudden, a semi-automatic rings out, and we can hear the bullets going through the woods. Mm-hmm. We're like, hey! So we get up, we get down up to the road. These 2 guys come around. The one guy had a 12 gauge, and he had a bandoleros on, and he had them loaded up. Right, the same look. And his buddy had a it was a Springfield 30-06 semi-auto World War II, and hey, did you see anybody shoot? No. I was like, we're out of there.
Right. Right.
So, and my brother's right. Best memories, absolutely.
Ultimately, I think that's what we're all looking for. Memories. You're out there to make memories and give back to the resource. To me, at least for me, to be able to give back to the resource.
Like this weekend, I'm gonna go up, open the cabin, and we're gonna go put in food plots.
Right.
And the reason we're putting in food plots is for the wildlife. Mm-hmm. The reason why we did our forest project for the animals.
Yep.
Help out the state as well. Mm-hmm. Get some of that firewood out of the woods for them. So in case there is a forest fire, God help us, it
doesn't burn the whole state down.
Right. But it's just the love of the outdoors, man.
Yeah. And
I tell you what, it's just, can't wait.
Once I got down there to the place we were looking at down in Alabama yesterday morning, it just, I mean, when I was on the beach, it was just, relax, kick back, take it easy.
Okay.
Yeah, I was on Facebook a little bit, I'll admit, checking emails. I mean, it's just, you have to in today's world. But I didn't do it nowhere near as much. Didn't watch TV. I turned it on, I think, to watch the weather. I think my wife was getting a shower at one point, and I turned on a hunting show. Go figure, you just, that's what you do on vacation like that. But once I got down there on the property, it's like, okay, if I hunted here, how would I hunt that?
Right.
How would I hunt that draw? How would I hunt that ridge? Okay, what type of woods are here?
What was it? Was it mixed woods and fields?
A lot of pine. See this.
Oh, a lot of pines.
Most of this lease is Weyerhaeuser lumbering industry.
Oh, okay.
You know, they do a lot of cutting. You can see they've cut twice in the last 8 years, in spots.
Okay.
It's not like they come through and just buzz the whole 2,600 acres. But you know, right now they had just cut probably about 80 to 120 acres on the side of a slope. You know, I mean, they went through and they cleared it.
So basically, they've set up these tracts of lands. They'll come in and take out a spot for this year.
Yep.
And then be done. They're off to their next spot.
Yep.
Okay.
And it might be, they may not cut in that area for another 4 or 5 years.
Right.
You know,
that's what my forest manager, he kind of said. If you got it going, you could almost literally just cut 20 acres every year. I think it's 20 or 10.
Checkerboard it, kind of.
Yeah, and then when you're at the other end,
come back and do it again.
Start again.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it was interesting to see that, but like I said, it really makes you think. Okay, well now if they come in here and cut or they had that cut, it's like, is that huntable this year? Probably not. What do you do with the blind? Where would you move? Would you hunt the edge? How long does it take the deer to come back into that area? You know, it's very interesting. Once you've hunted a piece of property for a period of time, you got it figured out. Well, let's take Mike and move him here, and you're going to hunt here now. That's a state or two away, or 5. Figure it out.
See,
it makes you think.
Typically up by us, if there's a fresh cutting,
deer in it,
go hunt it.
Yeah.
Now down there, I don't.
Pines not so much, but they do have hardwoods.
Okay.
You know, there were some hardwoods on there as well.
Yeah.
And creek bottoms, and that was the big thing. It reminded me a lot of when I hunted over at Clint Turner's place in Illinois.
Oh yeah, okay.
But a ton of woods versus at big agriculture in a big deep ravine.
Right.
Is where he was at. But it reminded me, hunt the draws, hunt the corridor, travel corridors, you know, the creek bottoms and things like that. Yeah, it's just, the other thing that really got me is, you know, I've been to Alabama, down to the family farm every year as a kid, spent summers down there, you know, and travel the general area. But, you know, not being out of that area much, like, I'd never been south of Birmingham.
Okay.
Went down to the Gulf, you know, and traveling that whole state, traveling down to that hunting camp. The freeways were reminding me of going up north here in Michigan. Woods, just woods, no agriculture. Like when you travel Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, there's fields. You see wood lots,
right?
You know, but this is just woods, and you could see, okay, maybe they clear cut a section behind that going along the freeway, and you can kind of see in there. But on the other side of that is more woods. It's just big tracts of wooded area. I was blown away. I never knew that about the state.
That's pretty cool.
That there was that much timber in that state, at least along the freeways and the roads that I traveled.
Okay, so there's a lot of timber there then.
Yeah.
And if they can come in and just do tracks of cuts at a time, then you know there's a lot of timber.
Yeah, and a lot of critters in there too.
Absolutely, I can imagine.
So, but that's probably the one thing I really noticed a lot, and even traveling south. You know, I'd look in a field. How would I hunt that?
Right.
Man, that looks like a good deer hunting spot, man. I think deer beyond that edge right there. Where would I put a tree stand? Do you ever do that going down the highway?
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
I did it when we were heading over to Grand Rapids. You know, you'll see blinds, elevated blinds, and you'll look to see what.
Why are they hunting there?
And it was kind of funny. Most of the elevated blinds were hunting edges.
Yeah.
They were hunting the ag field. Then you had the edge. And then sometimes it went into a woods, or sometimes that was almost like a hedgerow, and then it got into like a CRP field type.
Yeah,
where you could see the deer, so they're hunting both sides, and so oh yeah, absolutely, you got to do that. That's just. So how would you hunt that? I don't know.
See, that's the problem. As the older I get, you know, my fine motor skills aren't quite what they used to be. So as I'm driving, I'm actually kind of turning the way I look, and Shannon gets out. She's like, "Keep your eyes on the road."
Oh yeah, I get that too. You look, you drive, I'll look.
Yeah, it's like, well, you're not looking at what I want to look at. You know, you're not. I'm trying to think this through.
Did you see any coyotes or anything traveling?
not alive.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
dead on the side of the road. Yeah,
Yep. Okay.
I saw a good. I'd say 6, 7, 8 of them.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was wondering because
I traveled 2,250 miles though.
right, I know you
In a
did.
week.
That's what I was like.
Yeah, we
wonder-
put a lot of miles on.
I wonder what you saw. But
Yeah, actually, it was over 2,300 miles we put on
cool.
in a week's time. So, yeah, a lot of critters, a lot of armadillos down there. They got armadillos.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of those. I saw deer in every state except. No, I take that back. On the way down, we saw deer in every state until we got to Tennessee. Didn't see anything in Tennessee or Alabama. Then once we were there, I saw them in Alabama, and then I saw them in Tennessee coming back.
Okay.
So seen deer in every state that we went through.
I had a incident yesterday. Real quick, I saved a turtle.
Middle of the road.
Yeah.
Stop out and
This
carry
lady-
them over.
we were on one of the road behind me in the subdivision. This car's over, parked, and we pull up next to her, and we were on the Ranger, and she goes, "It's a turtle. It was a big turtle, a big snapper."
Okay.
And I go, "This is why you carry gloves with you." And I picked it up by the tail and put it back, but it was big. It was a big turtle, so
Yeah, make soup out of him, man.
that's what I kind of thought. I just, now I just return them.
Put him back.
Yep. So it was
Good
pretty
for
cool. Yeah, that was my
Good deed for the day.
good deed for the day. Yeah, yesterday was beautiful up here. Then you brought the weather back. So
I did not bring it back. It
well,
was
it followed you, okay?
It was here when I got here.
No, I don't believe it.
I'm sticking to that. That's the story I'm sticking to. So, well, I don't know. That's about all I got. I mean, it was a good vacation. I got to get my feet on another piece of hunting ground, and
Yeah, cool.
to look at, and that's always exciting. And listening to people talk about hunting, and
So we're gonna get back to the gym this week.
yep,
I've been there. I did my legs today, so we'll do arms tomorrow. Because Wednesday, we're gonna be back on here live, right?
Wednesday we're gonna be talking with Tread Barta if he has phone signal. And okay, I got some messages this week, and I'm just going to throw this out there. People like, man, you guys ran Tread again this week. Well, you know what? I was on vacation. I do deserve some time off, and we reran a show that we actually recorded Wednesday with Tread.
Right. And I
So-
even went on live and told them everybody it's my
Yeah.
first of all it was Mother's Day,
Right.
and then it was you were on vacation,
Right.
And I had just gotten back. It's like
So with that being said, if there's some things that that you want us to talk about on the show, let us know.
yeah,
Drop us an email, drop us a private message, text us, whatever. If you've got our phone number, let us know. But no, we're not turning the show over completely and covering that whole. We are going to cover the whole trip, but we're going to do that on Wednesdays. So we'll run a special segment.
a sideshow.
Yeah, on Wednesdays. So we're going to have that as a supplement to our regular show. So
And we should be back next Sunday night.
you're coming back.
I should be back.
Okay. If not, I'll give him a call and we'll get him on the phone as he's driving down the
right.
highway,
If not,
fighting traffic.
I should be I should be in an area where I have cell phone signal.
Well, if you're running a little late, maybe we'll put the show off just a tad.
Yeah, we'll see.
So
But
we'll see what
we
happens.
always try to beat the traffic back on Monday.
Gotcha.
So, because orange barrel season is in full swing.
It is, and I hit a lot of that on the way home.
Did you?
Oh yeah, there was a lot of construction. Didn't slow me down so much, but yeah, there was a lot of it.
I know.
That's one thing about traveling late at night on a Saturday. You can get through some of that stuff pretty quick. So.
Right? Exactly. So,
But I tell you what, for the podcast portion of the show, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. We'll hang on to the live stream here for a few minutes if you got any questions. So we're going to wrap up the podcast portion. We'll see you again next week, folks. And anybody on the live stream, you got anything you want to chat a little bit, throw some questions, we'll chat here for a few minutes. If we don't get anything, we'll wrap up tonight. Hopefully everybody is high and dry and got their grass cut.
right?
Man, oh man, I tell you, it was bad when I got home. I mean, that backyard was something that I was not looking forward to. It was just one of those deals, but
Oh yeah, it was amazing. So,
no questions
Nope.
popping up here. We'll give it another 30 seconds or so and see if anybody's got anything. We'll entertain a few if you've got them. Talking about next week when you get up, make sure you take lots of pictures.
yeah, I want to take a lot of photos, and I'm gonna try to send them to you as we go.
Okay.
I'll probably have to email them to you.
Okay.
But you know how signal is up there,
Oh yeah. Whenever
on-
it decides to work.
depending on what hill I'm on.
I hear you.
I go up to the north end of the northwest corner of the property. It'll probably be the best signal.
Well, that was like down at my dad's place. I can stand there and I have no cell phone service, and I can walk 10 feet in the house and bang, I've got 2 bars.
Yes, isn't that amazing?
It's in the same way on his property there at the farm. There's no rhyme or reason as to why I've got service. He's in the middle of nowhere. I mean, literally, he's in that farm is in the middle of stinking nowhere. Well, you saw the aerial footage.
I did, yeah.
That I was showing you. You know,
Not much around there.
no, it's woods and farm.
Right.
That's it.
So.
All right, we're going to go ahead and wrap up the live stream here tonight, folks. It was good talking with everybody. Thanks for all the comments. Terry says, do you use the face gaiter with UV protection? Going to get one. It's funny you mentioned that, Terry. I actually got one. Dan, if you want to grab it, it's actually right over there on top of that camera case, or that light kit bag. And I almost considered taking this with me when I went on vacation down on the beach, just because of what was of the sun. But I've got a scent lock neck gaiter, face gaiter that's in
Well, that's what they use. That's what they use fishing, right?
the new breakup. What's that? In
That's
fishing?
what they use fishing.
A lot of guys, will use this actually fishing as well. You know, when they're out on the water getting that reflection.
A lot of guys use them fishing. They got, obviously, the fishing guys, they got designs on them and
Sure,
stuff.
yep.
But, yeah, he knows like I do. You
Yeah.
got to protect yourself and skin nowadays.
Well, and if that's what it takes, I wouldn't think twice about it. I'd get one and do it, because to me that's breathable material. I don't think you got to worry about. I mean, if it's 90 degrees out, you're going to sweat. There's no question about it. But if it protects your face, pull it up to the bottom of your eyes, put your sunglasses on. Why not? Why not use it?
One by Scent Lock right here.
That's right. So,
All right.
I think I paid $20 for that.
There you go.
So, yes, I would do it. I wouldn't hesitate to do it if you're worried about that. So all right, folks.
All right, buddy.
We're going to sign off. We'll see y'all next week. Y'all take care now.